My name is Austin Collins, and this is AJ's Builds. So today on AJ's Builds, I'm going to be recapping a 2007 BMW 335i that I have been rebuilding. But before I get into that, check out this chair I made. So this chair I built out of a drag seat that I used to race up at Lebanon Valley. And the base, I actually used a rim from one of the race cars that we ran. I'm on a race team that races up at Stafford Motor Speedway in Connecticut. So I used the wheel, and I took these long rods that threaded into the bottom of the race seat, and I used this plate to mount it across, and that's the chair I built. So the recap on the 335i BMW is today I prepped the hood for primer. So I took the hood and on the underneath of the hood I used a brand new red scuff pad, and I scuffed all the edges, all the grooves, and the entire surface. What you want to do with the scuff pad is you want to dull the entire surface out. So you're putting in a scratch which causes adhesion for the paint. The paint needs a scratch to bite in so that the paint sticks and does not peel in the future. So I scuffed the whole panel, and then I flipped the hood over, and I sanded the outside with 400 just to get it a little bit of a better scratch since it's on the exterior outside of the car, and got it prepped for urethane primer.
Heading full speed in the lane, still getting it.
So on the outside of the hood, I felt around for any highs or lows, which other people would call dents, or some people would say like waves or rolls in the panel. It's a brand new OEM hood that I purchased, but I wanted to make sure that everything was straight. So I felt everything with my hand, and there was a couple spots that I ended up finding that were slightly lower rippled, which was probably from the way they stamp the new hoods. Is they put the inner frame shell on and they stamp them, and when the robots stamp the hood, it tends to cause creases or little slight imperfections and slight highs and lows, which other people would know as rolls, in the panel. So when I was blocking the panel for highs and lows, what happens is the color underneath your primer or whatever you may be that you're blocking will show through. In this case, it was bare metal because the OEM hood came primed, and there's no particular older primer or anything underneath it since it's brand new. So I block sanded it and ended up getting a couple high ridges of metal, which what is happening is when you're blocking is you're finding your high spots and your low spots. So when you're blocking, that high spot will start to come out, and the color filled in between the outsides high spots. Like say if I'm blocking here, and then I'm going to have a high spot show up and a high spot show up. Well, the inner ridge is the low spot, but since you're bringing the high ridges down, you're smoothing it level to that lower spot that still has the primer inside, and therefore your additional coat will go over, giving it a flatter base. So I blocked that out, and then I finished sanding the rest of the hood. I think I had about 3 spots that were high with a low ridge, and then I put the hood in the booth. I put an anti-corrosive primer, also an etch primer, over the hood, and then I did my final coat of urethane primer. So tomorrow what I plan to do is to jam the bottom of the hood, which is putting the base coat and clear coat on the bottom of the hood to match the color of the car, and then the hood will be going back on. The bottom of the hood will be getting assembled, the outside of the hood will be getting sanded, the fenders will be getting scuffing agent and water sanded so that I can blend the color out into those fenders, as I spoke about previously in my video on the Lexus that I did. And then the car will be going in the booth, will be getting painted, and the bumper cover will be getting painted, and then will come the assembly and the scuffing and buffing and getting the whole thing polished up and put back together. So these videos will be uploaded soon. They are to come. I'm in the process of building it, so I'm trying to get as much footage as I can while it's being done, and I just figured I would throw a video up today on the hood that I was doing. So that was the recap on what I did for today. There'll be more videos to come on the final stages of getting the car prepped and the painting and the putting back together of all the parts. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. This is AJ Builds, and I will see you next time.